Welcome, everyone, to Homestead-Miami Speedway. Welcome to the penultimate race in the HTL Cup Series season, Miami 400, coming up here on ABN, HTL Cup Series coverage here Monday nights. We're glad you're with us. It's been a couple weeks since the last time we were on track here in the HTL Cup Series, Chicagoland, 14 days ago. A wild race, day setting into the night. Not too unfamiliar to what we're going to see tonight. A little bit topsy-turvy are the points going into this penultimate race. 2 races to go in the season. It is Miami and Fontana, coast to coast. These final 2 races in 1 week. So let's go ahead and jump through it here and show you what we're talking about in these HTL Cup Series playoffs. Again, 3 races in this championship, 8. Chicagoland 2 weeks ago, the first race in this round. And it's a big shakeup here, looking into what Homestead has in store for us. Blake Henderson, for the first time in over 3.5 years, the points leader. He's never been the championship leader this late in the season. He was the regular season champion back in season 2. That was back in 2020. Back in 2022. So to kind of give you a little bit of time frame, it's been a little bit. Josh Soucy, former 2-time series champion, 3 points adrift. Blake Henderson did a really good job on scoring the stage points in Chicagoland. We'll need to rely on that again here tonight and pick up where Josh Soucy couldn't at Chicagoland. Soucy, who didn't qualify well at Chicagoland, will have to try to shore up on those mistakes in qualifying, but also make sure that he doesn't fall into the habit that we've seen too often this season, where good results are followed by DNFs. Usually for Soucy this season, it's been very much feast or famine. Pacey Wygant in the 0-0. Him, Hunter Peach, Bren Roberts, Chad Swatsworth, quietly collecting points. You'll need to collect more of them to be a threat going into Fontana. Tucker Sawyer got into the championship 8, but no workhorse in this round. He's got to step up the pace here. Josh Arnold, affected early on by a crash in Chicagoland, now has a giant hole to pick up here. 45 points the gap between Arnold and Henderson in the championship 8, which are marked in gold. They'll also be marked in gold in the ticker, the tower on the left side of the screen during the race tonight. Those eliminated during the round of 16, Eli Sassick, best of that group, in 9th. Mark Kissenweather, Bailey Thompson, Zach Meredith sitting 9th through 12th on the leaderboard here. And we'll look just off the next page here. Zach Apperson, Patrick Overstep, Elias Flores, Cody Pinnell. They're your top 16. They made it to the playoffs, but couldn't make it to the final dance in the championship 8. Davis Mills Jr. in 17th place. Best of the rest of those not in the playoffs. Davis Mills Jr. joined after missing several races. Still almost made the playoffs here. We'll see what he can do in that 54 car across these last 2 races. Again, trying to pick up more race wins, trying to pick up more podiums there for NFG Motorsports. Caitlin Hyatt, Byron Jones, Stephen Overstep make up your top 20. Then it's Lily Sharp, Bobby Flowers, Brady Smith, and Alfred Denny that round out this top 24 in the standings here for the HTL Cup Series. But again, the conversation is going to be in that championship 8 with 2 races to go. Every point counts now more than ever, especially. Keep an eye on everyone in that top 8 because you're going to need to be in that top 10 all race long. And those that are there the most persistently will have the best chance of securing their opportunities going into Fontana next Monday. That being said, we do have the starting grid coming up here. So let's go ahead and dive into the starting grid, and that seems backwards. All right, so a little bit of a hiccup here, but we will go ahead and roll with it for the time being. Ross Baxter on pole position for the first time in his career. What's backwards is the names. I'm going to go ahead and say this. It should be first name, last name instead of last name, first name. So follow along. Mark Kisselweather, outside row 1. Ross Baxter, this is his first career pole position in HTL. So congratulations to him. Pacey Wygent, Bobby Flowers, they sit in row number 2. And then in row 3, you've got Dale Markowski and Hunter Keach making up the top 6. Josh Susie, Bryn Roberts in row 4. Chad Slaughter, Richard Odie in row 5. Trippy, seeing the last name in the first line. But we continue. Josh Arnold and Blake Henderson in row number 6. Again, points leader Blake Henderson. We'll need to try to keep hold of that here. I keep in mind, he's still qualified ahead of Josh Susie, his main contender right now. But very interesting. David Smith Jr. and Eli Sasek in row 7. Byron Jones, Olivia Carrera in row number 8. Zach Apperson and Alfred Denny make up row 9. Your top 20 earmarked by Patrick Oberstadt and Christina Ryan. Tucker Sawyer, Brady Smith in row 11. Stephen Oberstadt and James Wright in row 12. That's trippy. Jason Scott and Bailey Thompson in row 13. Angel Santiago and DJ Anderson make up row 14. 28 cars in the field to get us ready to go in Miami. And that does make me beg the question, pull up the ticker. How wonky is our ugly? Pretty wonky. All right. Okay. Something here is messed up. Something here has messed up. So let's go ahead and try that again. We're going to try to recreate the ticker real quick, or the tower. Lights out on the pace car. So we're flying blind for a couple laps. Bear with us. Point standings worked out well at the start. And we'll go with it. Ross Baxter, pole position for the first time in his HTL Cup Series career. Mark Kisselweather to his outside leads us to green. We're underway in Homestead-Miami. First lap led confidently by Mark Kisselweather. Out of turn number 2. Expecting a little bit of what we saw at Chicagoland. This race will be more into the nighttime than what Chicagoland was. Chicagoland saw nighttime appear in the 3rd stage. Expecting the lights to come on here in stage 1. Expecting dusk to arrive during stage 2 here tonight. Five Flowers looking for second place. Getting around Ross Baxter, who's migrated to the top of the racetrack. Again, apologize for the tower on the left side of your screen not working the way we were intending for it to do. And caution's out for the first time. Several cars involved. That is Zach Apperson and David Smith Jr. that's around backwards. For the first time tonight. Thankfully, we do have control of our replay systems. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is looking front and center at the 54 and the 4 on your screen. The Domino's 54 and the pink and black, I think Hatsune Miku number 4. Starts actually ahead. Starts with Henderson, who gets sideways there, gets clipped by the 54 just barely. Smil gets into Pereira, the 96. Nowhere for Apperson to go in that melee. So let's go ahead and take a look from Henderson, if we can. From high above. This is a look from Henderson. Henderson just loose. No contact there. That's Susie behind him, the 24. Susie, I don't know if Susie gets into him or not. If he does, it's not enough to draw any damage. The first major contact of note would be the 54 right there, and that's not enough to draw contact, or enough to draw damage on Henderson. Everything happens afterwards, and you saw the melee that sort of precedes it. So 4 cars, maybe 5, depending on if Susie was involved in that at all. It didn't look like it. And it's your points leader. Wrong way around. Blake Henderson, who qualified in row 6, qualified in the 12th spot, who now has a decent amount of work to do. He's down in 22nd place at the moment. Good look here at the 25 car. No damage on that number 25 machine. You tell pretty easily the metallic in the back of that car would be pretty well peeled off if there is significant damage there, but there's not. Are we working on the ticker? Yes, we are. Woo. Awesome. Well, we're under caution for the first time tonight. Get to walk behind the scenes a little bit as to the issues we had. Getting ready to go back racing. So we use ATVO for the tower. Same system we use for the HTL Cup Series. And unfortunately, part of that is in the process of getting updates. So we were on different update versions between last night and tonight. So we had to go ahead and get that fixed. So HTL Overlay reads one different update. HTL Cup Series that we saw last night on different. So just a little bit of a technical headache for us. Marcus and Weather, no such headache so far at the front of the field. Started this race second, took the lead early. We'll restart this race from the outside lane ahead of Bobby Blowers. Hunter Peach and Ross Baxter in row 2. Get us back underway. The green flag flies for our first restart of the night. This leads the way. Top 4, single file. Josh Susie's made his way all the way up to the 4th spot. Everyone shuffling around here. DJ Anderson marked in red, substitute in the 19 car. And trouble again. This time it's Dale Markowski. Huge hit, Christina Ryan. It was Markowski and Sawyer. The first 2 spun around. And Christina Ryan clobbers the 33 of Markowski. And that one car looking pretty torn up especially on the front left, but also on the passenger side door. several cars involved. So let's go ahead and let's take a look. And Markowski gets loose into the 3 of Steven Oberstadt. Teammates that are connected together. Bounces off of, I believe that's the 95 of Brady Smith. It is the 95 of Brady Smith that Markowski bounced off of. And we saw this part in real time. Pereira connected again. Second incident in a row with Pereira nowhere to go. Everyone's spinning around. By the time Pereira gets involved. And it looks like, I'll have to back it up here. A little bit of haze obstructing some of our vision here, but it looks like Markowski just gets a little bit loose. Maybe in slow motion, quarter speed. Tries to change lanes mid-corner here, and it just gets loose on him. Almost got into Chad Swatsworth, stays off of him. Unfortunately, though, he does come across the nose of his teammate, Steven Oberstadt there, the 3 car. And Tucker Sawyer ends up biting the dust as well on the inside lane. Brent Roberts gets clipped a little bit. Brady Smith, the 95, gets a pretty significant hit. Blake Henderson sees it all happen in front of him. He gets through. Sienna trying to follow the flow of traffic, but the door shuts. And into Markowski she goes. So 4 or 5 cars involved in this second caution of the night. Getting some extensive repair work done. James Wright coming down pit lane for some service. And he'll be on his way. Christina Ryan's day is done. Less than 10 laps in here in Homestead. And cars leaving pit lane. Tucker Sawyer. Brady Smith. Olivia Pereira. Dale Markowski all trying to leave pit lane. Steven Oberstadt still on pit lane. And we'll go a lap down. So 1 car lap down. Steven Oberstadt. 1 car out. Christina Ryan. As we get ready for our second restart of the night in quick succession here. Get some other Blowers at the front of the field once again on this second restart. Baxter's lost spots every restart. Started on pole position, couldn't hold the lead through the opening lap. He is now down in 5th place, row 2. In front of him is Hunter Peach and Josh Susie. Again, those marked in gold are your Championship 8 contenders at the moment. Blake Henderson entered as the points leader. Josh Susie second in points, trying to take over that points lead, would like a 3rd HTL Cup Series championship. I was mentioning before that caution, DJ Anderson marked in red, filling in that 19 car as a substitute driver. Lily Sharp suspended indefinitely for repeated on-track incidents. DJ Anderson, the team owner for NFG Motorsports, in that 19 car the next 2 races, tonight and Fontana, to end up the season. But he's marked in red. Green flag flies and away we go. He's marked in red because he was on the inactive list. So 2 quick cautions, 2 quick spins. Cold tires, a factor so far. Up to speed here once again. Turn 4 has been the trouble spot already, twice in the opening 10 laps. And you saw the lights flare on lap 12. That is how much we're expecting this race to be in the nighttime. Blake Henderson spun on lap 6 and has already gotten back into the top 10. He is battling with 8th place, Chad Swatsworth. Also trying to get around, that is Brendan Roberts, the 83. There's a 60 of Byron Jones, all in this group as well. But again, you got to be careful. Turn 4 is no joke. From the fence a little bit, that was Baxter. They got into the fence there. Trying to put together a green flag run at the moment. Susie has gotten up to the second spot, but it's a half-second gap to Mark Kissenweather. Down to the bottom of the racetrack, keep an eye on the double bureau. Pacey Wygant working his way around his teammate Eli Sasek. As we mentioned, those marked in gold in the Championship 8, Eli Sasek not among those. His teammate Pacey Wygant is and is trying to set sail into the top 5, battling with Flowers for 4th. Peach just ahead in 3rd place. Green flag running in. Gives us a great time to talk about some of the information here. Bottom left of your screen, Homestead-Miami Speedway. 6th time we've been here in HTL Cup Series competition. The 3rd time it's been in the playoffs. And you see the previous winners. No repeats on that list. From Derek Welch all the way down to John Hagan last season. So it looks more and more likely we will have a new winner. Actually, it's guaranteed we'll have a new winner here at Homestead. But you'll see stage 1 and stage 2. No stage breaks in these stages. Lap 40 and lap 85 is when the stage points are on offer. Only time a caution comes out during these last 2 races, or if a accident causes a caution. And you see the fuel mileage easily can get you through the first stage without a pit stop. You would, if we do go green into stage 2, you would need a pit stop during stage 2. This is typically a 3-stop race. See, as we mentioned before, 1 race remaining after tonight. We go coast to coast from Florida to California next Monday to end off the season and crown a champion here for season 7. Watching as Eli Sasek slips backwards a little bit, now in the grasp of Ross Baxter and Blake Henderson. Baxter on the bottom of the racetrack. Sasek preferring the upper lane. Henderson has to go to the middle. And he makes it work. Gets around Baxter. Battle for the top 6. Sun quickly setting here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. The lights came on about 12 laps ago. As I mentioned, dusk will be through behind us here in stage number 2. Flowers goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Sasek goes high. So does Henderson and Ross Baxter. Byron Jones makes it past Baxter for 8th. Swadsworth in the top 10. Ben Roberts 12th. Josh Arnold 15th. Some of your other championship contenders. Pretty well stationary top 3, has not changed awful much. Mark Kissenweather, Josh Susie, Pacey Wygant, Hunter Peach are top 4. First major battle is in this battle really for your top 6. Flowers just up the road. Henderson struggling to get around Eli Sasek. These two battled out a lot of fun at Chicagoland. Both of them tagged the fence in turns 1 and 2. Not a lot of contact, but enough to slow them down. Talked to Henderson last race 2 weeks ago. Podium at Chicagoland. Josh Susie, the race winner. And Henderson said he started to feel the pressure finally, having made the championship 8, having felt the building of success within the 25 camp. Obviously, breaking the winless drought with the winner Bristol, having these stage wins, having the podiums this season, arguably one of his most consistent seasons of his career. He was starting to feel the pressure, knowing now that you've got just these last 2 races here in Homestead and next week in Fontana. But he said he believed in what that 25 car had in it. But you see this battle here, it's just going to cost him more and more time. Byron Jones firmly in the mix. Ross Baxter, incredible stuff from him. He has been incredible. Something about Homestead just unlocked that 38 car. Ross Baxter doing an outstanding job so far. Out of nowhere. And you see Henderson was trying really hard to get around Sasek. Sasek, a kidney stone to try to pass. Doesn't matter if it's in an open wheel car or a stock car. He is going to be difficult all the way around. And you're seeing that now. Byron Jones has to be the next one up. Sasek not running top 10 pace. Looking at the lap times at the moment, his average lap times right now are 16th fastest. So he is not on that top 10 pace at the moment. And you're seeing the bottleneck it is creating. Alfred Denny's in this conversation now, the 21 car. He's gotten around Swatsworth. It's backed up a lot of this group outside the top 10. This has been a season where really Ascent Racing has not really made a lot of friends. The team's earned a lot of, I think, unfitting nicknames. Eli Sasek's taking it on the chin as that team's leader, and has continued to make life difficult for everybody. He finally gets passed by Byron Jones. But it took an odyssey to get there. And Henderson, I think, has burned up his tires a little bit. He is now falling backwards. Out of the top 10 now he goes. And that's not a good case scenario, knowing that Casey Weiger and Josh Susie are closing in on the race leader, as is Hunter Peach. All 3 of them right here. Top 4 were spread out by about 2 seconds. That gap is closed now. All 4 at the front of the field within 1 second now, as we come to 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Car is running, 25 on the lead lap, 2 retirements. Stephen Overstat's joined the retirement queue along with Christina Ryan. As you see this battle between Casey Wedge and Hunter Peach heat up here for 3rd. They're thinking stage points. Unfortunately, one of the drivers we're trying to chase down is right in front of him, Josh Susie. Saw a lot of track evolution at Chicagoland 2 weeks ago. We're not going to see nearly that evolution because most of this race is going to be in the nighttime. The track temp falling away already. It was falling down the order, getting cooler when we started the race. It was a matter of just trying to find clean air at this point. Your car's going to pretty much stick wherever you want it to. As these two battle, they fall away more and more from Susie and Kissenweather. But they are thinking points. Little loose there for Peach. And he has to lose that battle for fourth place, and now he's got to be concerned about potentially losing fourth. Big opportunity for Bobby Flowers to pick off a contender here, and it looks like he might. Side by side down the back straightaway. Only 3 of your championship contenders in the top 10 at the moment. Spotswood has been swallowed up. And you see that little fight going on. Sassek's tagged the wall. And that's going to allow Alfred Denny to move up. Podium finisher at Pocono earlier this season, finished second at the Tricky Triangle. He has shown flashes of top 10 pace. We're seeing more of that in the 21 car here tonight. He has not run full-time. He has missed several races. He has recentered himself, trying to find the fun of it again. Talked about the last couple seasons really draining him down. He's one of the series admins. Whoa! Contact between Sassek and Denny. Denny drifted up the racetrack. Wasn't completely clear. Checks up. Everyone 7th on down. Now he is clear. But both of them tagged the fence. Here comes Patrick Overstat in that fantastic looking 88 car. Looking phenomenal, Patrick Overstat. Overstat makes up into the 8th spot. Chet Spotsworth back in the top 10, getting around Ross Baxter, but it is a dogfight for these final places in the top 10. Outside looking in. David Spiel Jr. in the 54, Blake Henderson in the 25. Sorry, that is Josh Arnold, the 13th place car. In 12th. Blake Henderson's dropped all the way down to the 16th position. That's Brendan Roberts in front of him now. So your points leader going into this race will not score stage points in stage number 1. 2 cautions on the opening laps. It's been green flag ever since. We went back racing on lap 12. Coming to 2 to go in stage number 1. Mark Kissenweather has held the fort. If this was King of the Hill, he has done a really good job so far. He's opened up the gap to Josh Susie. 7/10 of a second now. It was down to 2/10. Tire conservation has been a factor. Pit window, we talked about it, 46 to 49 laps. Most of the field stayed out during those opening cautions in the first 10 laps. Their pit window, with those cautions included, looking about lap 50. Mark Kissenweather, white flag in stage 1. Not in the championship conversation. Made it to the round 16, as it was last season, his rookie season. In this season, terrible round of 16, multiple DNFs, knocked him out of championship competition once again. Finds his mojo once again in the championship 8, once he's eliminated from that contention. But he is going to make life difficult for Josh Susie and company. As he comes out of turn 4, he will take the 10 stage points for winning stage 1. And Josh Susie from 8/10ths back will have to settle for 2nd place in the stage and now the championship lead. And caution's out. Caution's out. And Bailey Thompson, the 27, might have been the cause. We will take a look here. Stage 1 comes to a close. It did not disrupt the stage. And this does give everyone a pit stop here in stage 2. And Bailey Thompson, she just gets a little loose, middle 3 wide. That's Henderson to the bottom. And that is Sawyer on the outside. Ooh. A little bit of contact there between the two teammates. And there's the contact with Thompson in the inside lane. Multiple cars involved to draw out this caution. It looks pretty easy to repair that damage for the 27 count. Thompson already at the back of the field, 23rd when the caution came out. Back to real pictures, live action. There you see it. See your race off pit lane. Brady Smith has some damage, but I believe that is recurring damage from the opening cautions here, of which Brady Smith was involved in one. Overlay believing that Smith is the race leader. He is not the race leader. He will be at the back of the field. Mark Issenweather won the battle off pit lane. Josh Susie in second. Hunter Peach, Patrick Oberstadt, and Pacey Wygen will be your top 5 here for this third restart of the night, to get us genuinely reset for stage number 2, which will end on lap 85. As we talked about again, the fuel mileage easily will now get the field through stage 2. Next pit stop won't be until after stage 3 begins, if we keep this under green, as we had that green flag run in stage 1. Getting ready to go racing here in stage 2. Mark Issenweather, Josh Susie, front of the field. Stage 2 presented by Henderson Graphics. A lot of the field running Henderson Graphics designs. You see that throughout the field here. Real NASCAR design experience. High quality iRacing schemes across the stock car racing spectrum. Cup Series cars, Xfinity trucks, and more. The QR code on your screen, both in the bottom and the top left. If you want to get a fantastic looking race car for your iRacing season as it begins in earnest. Presenting stage 2 here in Homestead. Green flag flies in stage number 2. We're underway once again. And Issenweather launches to a great advantage here. And whoa, trouble. Patrick Oberstadt got really loose. A fantastic save for the 88 count, but from the front of the field down to the mid-pack on this restart. And all that work he did in stage 1, he'll have to do again. Rolling with some earnest energy. Patrick Oberstadt back up into the top 10, but in a tight fight. 25 cars on the lead lap. Only 2 retirements so far. They were both from accidents early in the first 10 laps. Susie back up into the second spot. Lost second for a moment on the restart. Patrick Oberstadt goes for a little drift and hands second place back to Susie. Kissenweather not bothered. 7/10 the gap. Big battles going on early here. Not really throughout the top 6. Really, this first battle you see here is between Ross Baxter and Chad Swatsworth. Sitting for this battle for 7th place. Swatsworth drives to the inside of the racetrack here, bottom of the racetrack. Baxter the first call on the outside of the racetrack home. And Baxter holds on to that 7th spot pretty comfortably. Barney the flagman looks on. Battle for 10th heating up as well. Davis Mills Jr. jumped into the top 10. Patrick Oberstadt gatekeeping that 10th spot. Alfred Denny leading the charge from the outside looking in. Josh Arnold in 12th, in car 12. Zach Alperson, Eli Sasek, Blake Henderson, Bren Roberts, Tucker Sawyer. Also in this cluster of cars that are now 3 wide. And Sasek's in a very unfortunate sandwich. That is a tombstone sandwich. Sasek got down in front of the 25. Ultimately, everyone's staying locked in place. Alperson trying to surge around the outside of the 12. Josh Arnold, 3-time race winner. Alperson, his first career win came this season. A little bit of contact between Henderson and Bren Roberts. Roberts keeps going straight. Henderson with a half spin and a save. But Henderson's day gets another bad reset. He is down in the 22nd spot now. Del Markowski behind him, then Bailey Thompson, Olivia Pereira. So Henderson now down out of the top 20. And this race, which was already going to prove to be difficult, we talked about having to basically learn this track from scratch. He is learning that this track is not kind. That is what he has learned so far. Mark Kissenweather has led most of the laps in this race so far. 53 laps that we're on right now. He has led bell to bell, pillar to post so far. 52 laps led of those completed. He is coming around to complete lap 53 and lead this lap as well. Did not start on pole position, started second, and has been flawless so far in the first 53 laps. Josh Susie under threat from teammate Hunter Peach, with Pacey Wygant lingering in 4th. And Henderson in more trouble. He has now dropped down to the last car running on the racetrack. Damage on the 25. Damage for Henderson. And this is going to be, I think, a practically day done. Piece of the car dangling off the side. He has made contact on the right side with the outside wall. The fender finally falls off. And that right front is completely torn apart. And Henderson's chances at battling for a championship, you see the leaders walk on by here. Henderson's championship aspirations are effectively over. We'll see if we can grab a replay as to what happened to Blake Henderson here. As the green flag continues, with Mark Kissenweather leading the way. Hunter Peach gets loose once again at turn 4, and Pacey Wygett moves up to 3rd. Hunter Peach struggling with grip right now. Was challenging his teammate, and then it fell apart for him pretty quickly. Now down to 4th, under threat by Byron Jones for that position. And Chad Slotsworth not far away. So this is what happened to Blake Henderson, we do believe. Struggling here is the 25. And just gets loose. I don't know if he got loose and overcorrected. But you see the damage on the 25 car. We'll take another look at that. And we'll look at it from on board. Yeah, just gets loose and overcorrects. On board the 25 with Blake Henderson. On the crash that has ended his day. Hunter Peach leads the way in this battle for 4th, along with Byron Jones. While Kissenweather leads the race. Blake Henderson's day officially is done. And we're getting reports here that the steering wheel for Henderson came off of its assembly for Blake Henderson. So that would explain why the car took a sharp right turn. Henderson had issues with the steering wheel the last several races, dealing with a loose assembly. Not the first time he has had issues with that steering assembly. It just had not been that bad. And it was normally the assembly itself that was loose, not the wheel. So the steering wheel came off of the assembly in this crash for Henderson, and his day is done. And I think now the conversation now is, what damage is there to the assembly and to the steering wheel itself? Hopefully none. But normally a steering wheel doesn't come off the assembly without causing some damage, which is a huge cause for concern. And obviously I'm assuming the 25 camp going to try to diagnose that and see how things go from there. Mark Kissenweather leads the way still. He has been perfect so far. Kelly Thompson has also retired. So 4 retirements in this race now as attrition takes hold. Not sure the reason for the retirement for Thompson, but Henderson's day is done because of a crash, because of a steering wheel fault, a steering wheel failure. Thompson, we'll see if we can get a report on what happened to the 27 car to cause retirement as well. 23 cars running, 23 on the lead lap out of the 27 that started this race. Angel Santiago did not qualify, did not take part in the race, but was entered and took part in practice. was looking to potentially do an interview with Blake Henderson to see what happened and see if there's any diagnosis news from the 25 camp on what happened there and if there's any significant damage to the actual steering assembly. But unfortunately not available for comment at this time. Billy Thompson, comment from the 27 camp. Lost the car in turn 4 and slammed the wall, similar to what happened to Blake Henderson a few laps beforehand. And that ended the 27's day in equal fashion. So from good to bad for Henderson and for Tombstone Motorsports as a whole. We can only kind of conjecture here. Henderson didn't have a great race, had fallen backwards a couple times in this race prior to it. So I wonder if it was an issue that had been noticed by Henderson, and I wonder if it was again, a lot of questions about what happened with the 25 car, but luckily no caution for either the 25 or the 27's crash here. But I think we have now drawn to this point where we are in the holding pattern for a lot of the field. Passing going to become a little bit more of an issue for the field. Single file, top 4 cars. They've not really been able to get super close to each other here. Similar to what we saw at Chicagoland 2 weeks ago, where strategy was going to need to be the forefront. Unfortunately, caution late kind of sets in motion the end of that race. Ross Baxter, again, Cinderella story for him. Qualified on pole for the first time in his HTL Cup Series career. Gets around Byron Jones, who loses 2 spots. Davis Mills Jr. gets ahead of him as well. Patrick Oberstadt in the 88. Also in the conversation, Zach Apperson, Chad Blockworth round out your top 10 at the moment. We come around 16 laps to go in stage number 2. In case you've missed anything so far through the first 70 laps here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, 3 cautions in the race so far. 2 cautions in stage 1, 1 caution so far in stage number 2. And that was in the beginning of stage 2. We've had 4 retirements. Sienna Ryan out after only 6 laps. Steven Oberstadt out after 20. Blake Henderson out with a steering wheel failure after 54 laps. Billy Thompson out after tagging the wall and damaging the car 59 laps in here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Olivia Pereira on pit lane. Now this is not a scheduled stop for the 96 car. Scheduled pit stop was supposed to go into about lap 90, lap 95. So this pit stop is about 20 laps early. Seeing Byron Jones slide backwards. Gets passed by Chad Swatsworth, gets passed by Bren Roberts. And out of the top 10 he goes. Here's the battle for the 8th spot. Roberts and Swatsworth side by side. Battle's a little bit hard to find here. Let's see if we can find something here. Hunter Peach has gotten to the bumper of Pacey Wygant once again. Obviously, Hunter Peach a couple of really big moments out of turn 4 that has put him back behind the 00 machine. He has been in this position now 3 times, trying to get around the 00. I think Josh Susie would love to try to catch up to the number 2 car, but he's thinking about big picture, which is championship. He entered tonight second place in the points by 3 to Henderson. Henderson's day is done. Scored 0 stage points in stage 1. Susie finished second in stage 1. The gap, as it sits, will not shrink. It'll only expand to everyone, with Susie staying where he's at right now. So he does not have the prerogative to go and try to throw this car at the race leader of Mark Kissenweather. We've seen Josh Susie during the regular season try to go for that extra 5%, that extra 10%, and the cars ended up in the fence and out for the day. Josh Susie doesn't need that. I'm sure that he has been made well aware of the situation as it sits right now. He doesn't need to fight too awful hard. Hold station, because it's not easy to pass. We're seeing that plenty right now. It's not easy to pass. One of those cars has the same thing you do, with Hunter Peach being his teammate. Let them waste their stuff coming to you. Focus on consolidating that second place, get those 9 extra stage points, build that gap. Even if the race lead is out of hand at the moment, you're looking at this entering Fontana, if things hold station, as the odds-on favorite in Fontana with a 15, 20-point gap in the points. And for Josh Susie, that's big. That's huge. But what you do not want to do is throw it away. And the easiest way to throw it away is to try to go and chase after that 2 car when the 2 car is not your competition. And Mark Kissenweather is A-okay with that as well. He has got almost a second gap at the moment. And he has led pillar to post. He has gone bell to bell so far. Green flag pit stops will change that. If you're out front, you will be one of the first ones to come in more often than not, because you are burning the most fuel. Car down pit lane, Byron Jones. This is also an early pit stop. This is an early pit stop by about 10 laps for Byron Jones. Olivia Pereira with damage repairs was the reason why the 96 car came down pit lane. She was on pit lane for about 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And is now sitting about 7 laps down. 6 laps down, excuse me. Chad Swatsworth down the pit lane. So I think we're seeing a couple come down pit lane early, not for fuel, but for tires. And Byron Jones, his day is done. So his early pit stop was not for tires. His day was just over. Chad Swatsworth, I don't believe we saw any damage on that 6 car. And indeed there's not. That is a clean looking race car, and that is a standard pit stop. Byron Jones back on the racetrack. So there's been some sort of issue with the 60 car, because he is now multiple laps down. And this early pit stop immediately goes to nothing for Byron Jones. Behind the race leaders, he's going to try to get one of those laps back. He's got fresher tires. But also, their pit stop's not far away. It's Hunter Peach in the 20, just behind. Josh Susie up the road there in the 24. Only 2 have come down pit lane for actual standard service. Byron Jones, it looks like there was some sort of technical issue. He came to a stop off the racetrack for some reason. And unfortunately, we don't have a direct cause for what happened to Byron Jones. All we know is that it cost him about a lap and a half. Kissenweather sits at the front of the field by now about 2 seconds. He has opened up the gap. Josh Susie under threat here. Hunter Beach has gotten around Pacey Wygant. Susie's pace has fallen way off here. Either Hunter Beach has turned up the jets, or there could be a problem with the 24. Not sure what's going on here. But Susie's got problems. That's a loose race car now. That car's falling away quick. That car's right side tires are done. Susie's having to back way off. I would say he might hazard to come down pit lane. Fastest car on the racetrack that last lap was Hunter Peach on the same setup. So Josh Susie's tires are just gone. He can't hold a lane right now. He is drifting to the racetrack. He is tight. And then it snaps loose because the right rear's going. So the 24's got some issues on the handling side. And we thought he was trying to keep it in a holding pattern. That holding pattern is not sticking. And now you have a concern. Because it's obvious now he's not coming down pit lane right now. He is going to a fuel number. Two different ways to come around doing pit stops here at Homestead when you have a green flag cycle. You either pit to the tire wear, you pit to a lap time number you're trying to keep up, or you go based on fuel mileage. You go when the tank runs out. A couple cars have come down pit lane on the tire wear basis. Chad Swath with Byron Jones. Most everyone else is going to the fuel mileage. It's just an easier thing to think about. You just run when the car runs out. Pretty well straightforward. But we're seeing that not everyone is going to be happy when you get there. And now Josh Susie does have cause for concern. He finished second in stage 2. That came and passed on lap 85. He is the points leader by over 12 points. So far, just looking at how things are sitting right now. But if pit stops linger, Jason Scott's coming in, but he is near the back of the field. 18th place for him. He is not up near the front of the field. Ross Baxter pits from 10th. Pit window is open here, so it makes sense. I thought I heard somebody clutching. Was that Susie I heard on the clutch? Or was that Wygant? On board with Susie. Susie's not on the clutch here. You see the leaders come down pit lane. Kissenweather and Peach. Patrick Oberstadt and Josh Arnold down on the pit lane. Wygant in second. Right on board with him. Susie, we were listening to see if he was clutching and coasting. It wasn't Susie. It's Wygant. You hear that. You hear the engine just cut out. So Susie leads the way now. They're going long. They're trying to... Oh, I see what's trying to do. They think if they can get to about lap 97, that this next stop will be the last stop. That's why. That's exactly what they're doing. They got to get to lap 97, though. Susie's now on the left coast. There's Kissenweather, the number 2. Odie, a lap down, has not come down pit lane. That is just on pace at the moment. Guess whether a lap down has come down pit lane. 6 cars have stayed out so far. Whoa! Close to a huge crash there. Kissewether had to go and avoid. Almost a huge crash there, and that would have been worst case scenario for most of the field. Instead, Josh Susie misses pit lane. Second genuine hiccup there for Josh Susie, and it's not a small one. Anderson coming out of pit lane, the 19. He's going to try to come down pit lane this time with Bryn Roberts. Wygent in pit lane now as well. Alfred Denny going to come down pit lane as well, the 21 car. Eli Sassa coming down pit lane. Mark Kissewether will re-inherit the race lead. Coming to 50 laps to go. And I'm going to hazard the guess that no one can make it on this stop. Everyone's got one stop left to go. Kissewether has pressure behind him, though. Hunter Peach is on him. They both came down on the same lap. Kissewether had to check up because of almost running into Josh Susie. It puts Hunter Peach in the conversation. So a new cat and mouse in the conversation. Hunter Peach trying to hunt down the mouse that is Mark Kissewether, who has led all but 7 laps so far of this race. And he has led every lap, not a part of the pit stop sequence. Here comes Hunter Peach to the front of the field. And we've got our first pass for the lead under racing conditions. Hunter Peach to the front of the field. And that's a big moment. Pit stops have been made for everybody. The entire field has made their stops with one stop remaining, unless you do a lot of fuel saving. Which I thought I heard. I thought I heard fuel saving. Let's ride on board Kissewether. No fuel save there. Actually, a downshift. You heard that. Down from 5th gear to 4th. So his car has gotten tight. He is not happy with where his car is at. He is not happy. Didn't shift up to 5th. There's 5th. Yeah, he's not happy with his car. His car's tight. You can see the way he's rising up the racetrack in the corners. His car has gotten worse. He made an adjustment, and it's not good. Down to 4th again. You can hear it. You can hear the rev spike up when he downshifts. From 5th gear to 4th. Up to 5th again. His car's falling apart. Mark Kissewether's car has gone downhill quickly. That is not something you do typically if your car's great. Let's ride on board with Hunter Peach. In 5th gear. Still 5th. Hunter Peach, remember, his car was loose earlier in the race. Had a couple of really big moments. 45 laps to go. He shifts down 2. He shifted down there. 4th gear, 5th. So we shift down here. Because Kissel shifted down here. Peach is shifting down to 1 and 2. Interesting. Very interesting. Peach has opened up 2 seconds. Got by Kissel and sent him to Gapplebee's is what that is called. 2.5 seconds of the gap. Kissel car is not in a good spot right now. He is not happy. It is very clear he is very unhappy with that car right now. Patrick Oberstadt in 3rd. Oberstadt also pit lap 90. Davisfield Jr. pit lap 91. Casey Wygent pit lap 94. Josh Tucci's had to carve his way through a huge chunk of traffic. Still side by side with Brendan Roberts. But Susi no longer in a favorable position right now. The saving grace right now is that he knows that the second place car is not in a good spot, and his teammate is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. So he's got the equipment underneath him. Should not be a surprise. Josh Susi up to 6th. He's got to chase down Pacey Wygent. He's a second away. Michael Sawyer also in the conversation, battling with Zach Apperson. There's teammates behind Apperson. You look at Swansworth and Arnold, all in that conversation. Battling for the 10th spot. Ross Baxter in the 12th position. He's also in this conversation, and he's got to run. You see James Wright, 23, not on the lead lap. He is I believe, the first car lap down, if I'm not mistaken. Second car lap down. DJ Anderson's first 1 lap down. 19 cars on the lead lap. Jason Scott, the next car to go a lap down. He's not far away. There's Byron Jones, also in danger of going a lap down again. Three cautions in this race. Hunter Peach has made like a bandit, though, in stage number 3. Now at the front of the field by 3.5 seconds. And I am so perturbed by how the two cars fallen off so dramatically. Caution's out. Caution has come out, and it's James Wright backwards on the front straightaway. I don't see a lot of damage on the 23. Out of turn 4 has been a trouble spot. Every caution of the race so far has been out of turn 4. All of our retirements so far have come from turn 4. What happened to James Wright to draw our 4th caution of the night? He is already loose. He is loose way into turn 4. He's ahead of Richard Odie. And just slow motion here. This car gets away from him quick. Just starts sliding up the racetrack. And the rear of the car just loses grip. And it never gets it back. And that's a very justified caution there. Comes to a stop practically near the center of the racetrack. Gets it rolled off the racetrack to get out of the way, to not harm anybody's day. Very heads-up move there by James Wright just to let it roll back to the apron. And the field will come down the pit lane. So 4th caution of the night. And this will enable us to sprint to the finish. It bails out Mark Kissenweather who is looking to be in a world of hurt. Fuel only stop, Patrick Overstap. He will take over the lead of the race. This is going to be very interesting. Two-tire stop, I believe. Let me look here. Yep, two-tire stop here for Pacey Wygant. Two-tire stop for Patrick Overstad as well. He just was a lot faster on that two-tire stop. Everyone else, 4 tires. Slow stop, Mark Kissenweather. He loses a couple spots. Obviously trying to reverse the adjustments that were made on that green flag pit stop on lap 90. That put his car in a demonic possession type state. As we get ready to go racing once again for our 4th restart. Top 5, bottom of your screen. Patrick Oberstadt leads the way. We will step aside for 30 seconds to get a refreshment break. Stay with us here at Homestead. Getting ready to go back racing here for the 4th time tonight. 4th restart coming up. Pit stops out of the way. It is a sprint to the end of the race here in Miami. Patrick Oberstad and Pacey Wygant, 2 tires on their pit stop. Everyone else took 4. Keep an eye on how this plays out. They took a gamble because they wanted track position. Patrick Oberstad wants to play spoiler. Pacey Wygant wants a race win. Drivers marked in gold, battling for a championship. And they have clustered themselves to the top 10. Green flag flies. Away we go. And everyone congregates to the bottom of the racetrack. Very crowded space there. Middle 3 wide. Davis Mills Jr. loses out to Bren Roberts. Overstat and Wygant lead the way. They were on 2 tires. They took right sides only. Trouble, Kissenweather. And more trouble up ahead. More trouble, huge crash. Susie's involved. Roberts is backwards. Huge crash, 5th caution of the night. And the sprint has turned into a massacre and more trouble. Susie and Kissenweather at it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Last case scenario, you do not want to be in this situation if you're Josh Susie, and now you're in it. And we have to break this down. Pit stops coming, several cars involved, and it looks like it starts between the 24 and the 2 based off of what we've seen so far on the racetrack. Oh my goodness. Don't want to turn away the camera yet. They make it to pit lane, okay. Let's take a look at our 5th caution of the night. And it starts before this. It starts with the 2. So let's take a look. Oh, this is going to be exactly where it starts. 24 and 2. Upper center part of your screen. Play in ABN slow motion, quarter speed. Center of their screen is the 24. Your points leader through the first 2 stages of this race. sends it into the 2, gives the 2 a shot, and this is what destabilizes the 2 and sends him loose and sliding up the racetrack. He tries saving it, can't. Now, what happens here? Oh, Bryn Roberts gets loose on his own. Roberts gets loose on his own, and Susie has nowhere to go. Clobbered by the 4 of Apperson, who also has nowhere to go. Everyone's just reacting at this point. Susie gets hit on all 4 sides. Gets T-boned by Josh Arnold. Oh, is he going to hit by Alfred Denny? Alfred Denny, Moses, right there. Sees part for him. But he's backwards at this point on the racetrack. Brent Roberts, obviously, we saw him get involved in this. Damage on all 4 corners of the car for Josh Susie. And this is where things get interesting. Ooh. Yeah. That is wild. There's no doubt about that one. And here we are, looking at it once again. Kissenmother on the pit lane still, Apperson as well. 20 cars on the racetrack. Josh Arnold and Josh Susie back of the field. Pacey Wygen and Patrick Oberstadt at the front. Wild turn of events here in Stage 3 here in Miami. Our 5th restart coming up. And this is a topsy-turvy race for sure. The green flag is going to fly, and here we go. Patrick Oberstadt leads the way. Again, 2-tire stop for the Zebel Zero and the 88 at the front of the field. They took 2 tires 2 cautions ago. And the more cautions we get, the more it helps them out. Patrick Oberstadt leads the way. Pacey Wygen second. Davis Muir Jr. in third. Remember, the NFG cars, the 54 and the 20, some of the fastest cars in the nighttime. That's where we're at right now. Josh Susie's day effectively over. He is in 19th place, trying to stay on the lead lap in case more accidents happen, which you can't roll out here. Teammates side by side for third for NFG. But Josh Susie effectively out of contention here, as is Bryn Roberts. Both of them 19th and 20th. A lot of damage on both those race cars. Josh Arnold in 18th place, tail end of the lead pack. A lot of drama here in Miami as the sparks fly. A lot to debrief and talk about, for sure. Right now, Patrick Oberstadt sees the drama, sees the melee, and is thinking absolutely right time to return to victory lane. Side by side, your battle between Wygen and Hunter Peach. And this is now a very important fight because this is a fight that potentially is for the points lead here in Miami. Hunter Peach around Wygen. And here comes the 54 Smeal to try to help, but also look for position himself. Wygen up the racetrack. Smeal on the bottom. Absolutely wild how this race has played out so far, and we still have coming to 26 laps to go. 2 tires for Patrick Oberstadt, 4 tires for Hunter Peach. Last time Hunter Peach was in victory lane, season 5, 2 seasons ago. It's been a long wait for Hunter Peach. Patrick Oberstadt, 2 race wins this season. Trying to return to victory lane. Car about to go a lap down. Bren Roberts will not impede his teammate, the 88. Would have to hazard. He would definitely not do that. And he's not going to impede anybody. Bren Roberts knows the rules of engagement well. One of the more respectable drivers in this field. Goes a lap down, but stays out of the leader's way. They're going to let this play out. 25 laps to go here in Miami. Hunter Peach up near the fence. Oberstadt ran the bottom that time. They both run near the bottom of the racetrack here. First car on the top lane is Ross Baxter, who's in the top 10. Let's not pretend that Carolina Beagle Racing, that Team Ralph, also does not have a couple of rocket ships here. Markowski is in the top 5. There's 3 of those Carolina Beagle Racing machines in the top 10. There's 3 Ascent cars, 4 Ascent cars top 10. The 00, the 95, the 97, the 9. They're all here. But can they hang in across the rest of these 22 laps? Important question you have to ask. Wygen under threat from Smeal. Wygen seems to prefer that middle lane. I think we're at this point of the race where the bottom lane is the lane to be in. That's where you see Patrick Oberstadt. If you're gonna be Hunter Peach, you gotta pass in the outside lane. Typically, that's not a problem. Homestead's a progressive banked racetrack. It lends itself to being able to do that. But this is a race that typically is run in the daytime when we come here. Now it's in the nighttime. Track cools down. It gives more advantage to that bottom lane. Hunter Peach, though, 4 tires. You want to talk about the difference between 2 and 4 tires? This is it. This was the question mark that we were going to have. How long was a 2-tire stop going to be able to hang in there? Pacey Wygen's not doing bad. The 00 is not out of the conversation. But you see that the only thing holding back the 20 car from passing the 88 is patience. And Wygen and Oberstadt can see that. They know what they're against. And Hunter Peach knows he's got his choice and he's got time coming to 20 laps to go. 4 cars within 3/4 of a second. Bren Roberts just collecting laps here, staying on the bottom of the racetrack, staying on the apron. But his car is all torn up. Josh Susie does not look like he'll be under threat to go a lap down, but has lost complete contact with everybody in the field. He is on an island. And what seemed like a slam dunk for the 24 is very far from it now. And that's going to be the talking point out of Miami, heading to California in 7 days. This championship conversation looked settled. Looked completely settled. With Josh Susie with a 20-point advantage. Now the gap very far from it. Hunter Peach to the front of the field. Patrick Oberstadt's going to have a chance to respond, and he's going to do a good job responding. Bottom of the racetrack, Peach up top. Peach overcommitted to the outer lane on the exit of turn 2. He's got to commit to it again. Side by side, Oberstadt led at the line. And Peach, it looks like turns 1 and 2 not as good for Patrick Oberstadt. But here they go, door to door. Peach with the advantage, but can't get to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to be on that white line. Everyone in the top 5 on the white line, except for Hunter Peach. But Hunter Peach wants to be there, side by side. Peach leads this time. And this is going to be a duel. Still battling here. Brent Roberts down the pit lane now. Hunter Peach. Is he going to get clear this time? He does. And look at that send. He made sure Hunter Peach could not get to the bottom of the racetrack. He knew what was coming. If Hunter Peach gets to that white line, it's over. And Patrick Oberstadt sent it. Both of them missed the bottom of the racetrack, but Patrick Oberstadt, because he drove Peach up the racetrack, got to the front of the field and got clear again. Now, this watching live, a comment made live on Twitch. Surprised that third and fourth haven't caught up. Yeah, it's a really good shot here. Here it goes. He left the door open for Hunter Peach to go to the bottom of the racetrack. And Patrick Oberstadt has no grip left in those tires. Couldn't fight him. He's got to get a really good run here out of the back straightaway. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Davis Mills Jr. in third, getting around Pacey Wygant. They had a little bit of a battle on their own. Side-by-side battle. Hunter Peach leads again. 14 to go. And this battle may be done. Two-tire stop, just could not go the full distance. But they are still hanging in there, second and fourth. Oberstadt running up near the top of the racetrack, seeing what he can do. Hunter Peach with clean air. That is so important right now. One thing you do not want to see if you're the 20 car is a caution. That's the one thing you don't want to see. We've had 5 in this race. 2 in stage 1, 1 in stage 2, 2 in stage 3. What do we get here? With 12 laps to go. Oberstadt sends it to the top of the racetrack again. Surprise is not trying to run the middle of the racetrack. He's looking for the most momentum possible, though. With his left side tire screaming, there may just not be enough grip for him to run the middle of the racetrack. He got a lot of momentum that time. Got right to the bumper of the 20 before they entered the turn. So maybe he's found an answer. Smil and Wygant are there. They're just not able to close in. And as we mentioned, that's a product of the track just being so cool. The downside is just not as high. This is a smart move by Hunter Peach. Take the line away from Oberstadt. Take his line away. He had clean air and free real estate to make things happen in turns 1 and 2. Peach studied it, found it. Blocked turns 1 and 2, back to the bottom in 3 and 4. Because he knows that Oberstadt's not as good in 3 and 4. He's outstanding in 1 and 2. Very smart move. Gets back to the bottom of the racetrack here. He had a half-second gap. He can afford to do that because he's not comfy up top in 1 and 2. Smil in the conversation. He is in that third spot. He is closed in. Wygant not far away, but he's not going to have a lot of pressure. Bobby Blauer's a friend of his. Not going to press him too awful hard here unless the door opens. And Hunter Peach is going to try to eliminate a winless streak. If he can. It's about to be an NFG Motorsports 1-2 here as Oberstadt continues to fall away. Smil to the bottom of the racetrack. Oberstadt up top once again. He knows that's his only chance right now. Out of 3 and 4, Oberstadt holds on to second place, but Smil's there in the shadow. Wygant's in this conversation as well. Top 5 under a blanket within a second. Again, a caution would be last case scenario. And it seems unlikely that we're going to get one. This is the closest battle on the racetrack by and far. Everyone else kind of strung out here. Various levels of damage on some cars further back in the field. Chad Swansworth just had an issue. And it looks like his day's come to a close. They're going to put him back on the racetrack, it looks like. He's down in 19th place. Side by side, Oberstadt and Smeal. With Susie sitting in 18th place. NFG still trying to grab a 1-2 out of this. Oberstadt gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Entering turns 1 and 2 on David Smeal Jr. Peach is not waltzed away from this group. Everyone's still here. Oberstadt holding on to second place. This is a dogfight. Coming to 5 laps to go. Peach is walking away a little bit. 0.6 is the gap, but it's still a blanket of cars. Second through fifth. And we have a championship race on our hands in Fontana in 7 days' time. A lot of drama in this race, no matter how this race plays out from here to the finish. A lot of drama and a title decider on our hands. A little bit of latency for Patrick Oberstadt. And he bows out. Whoa, trouble! Blowers in the fence! Blowers in the fence! Caution's out for the 6th time. For the 6th time, the caution's out. And it's the friends, what we didn't expect to see put together. They come together in a big way. The field gets around him. Huge crash here. Bobby Blowers sends us into overtime. Casey Wygant and Bobby Blowers together. Let's take a look. Into the corner. Peach up the road, out of the way. Unhappy to see this happen. Wygant drifts up the racetrack, just gets tight underneath the 71. Almost collects the 88. Good avoidance there for Oberstadt. And luckily, just one car ultimately in this accident, being the 71. Wild, wild stuff. And this has sent the field into orbit. Top 4 stayed out. This is where you make your bed and you lie in it. Top 4 stayed out. Hunter Peach, David Smeal Jr., your top 2 teammates at the front of the field. Ross Baxter, Dale Markowski, teammates for Carolina Beagle Racing in row 2. Those 4 stayed out. Casey Wygant on back, 5th place on back, came down pit lane, 4 tires for most of the field. Wygant once again took 2. He's not alone. Byron Jones and Josh Arnold also took 2. collecting ourselves before we go at this again. Overtime restart, 6th caution of the night. And this is going to be a wild one. Hunter Peach, Davis Booth Jr., Dale Markowski, Ross Baxter, Byron Jones, Pacey Wygen, Patrick Overstat, Josh Arnold, Eli Sasek, Tucker Sawyer, top 10. And drama throughout. Trouble for Baxter. He is off the... He's on the apron now. They've extended the yellow by a lap. And so we'll wait one more lap. What is going on with Ross Baxter? He's back in line. I'm not sure what happened there. Garsusi's decided to take this time to grab some more repairs. And I wanted to see if we can grab a good look at the damage, but I don't think we got a good camera that can get a hold of that. We can show you the onboard. You can see the unflushed panels, but that doesn't give you a lot of information there for Josh Susi. He is trying to play vulture. Regardless of how this race plays out, any places he gets, he scavenges because of a crash. The question is, does the crashes happen at the front or the back of the field for this restart? 6th caution of the night. It is popped off in stage 3. Hunter Peach leads the way. Wygen down in 6th. Old tires up front, 2 tires in the middle, fresh tires at the back. Pace car is in. Overtime underway. We're racing at Homestead. And Wygen got a good run. 2 tires, though, for the 0-0. Is it gonna be enough? I saw a car get loose. Markowski saved it. But he is being leaned on. Trouble. Markowski, can he save it again? Still trying. Still trying. Still trying. We got to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Wygen got spun and wrecked. Huge crash. But we took the white flag. And it's going to be a 1-2. Hunter Peach breaks a winless drought. He wins at Homestead in a dramatic race. It's a 1-2 for NFG Motorsports, and Eli Sasek brings it home 3rd. A huge restart that needs reviewed. So many cars involved in accidents here at the end of this race. But Hunter Peach grabs the race win. Breaks a winless route. Everyone congratulating Hunter Peach there. And here's your winning moment. Hunter Peach wins here at Homestead. Burns it down here in Miami. As he burns it down, let's go ahead and take a look at that last restart in depth. because that was a wild turn of events. And it starts immediately. This is absolutely insane. Wygen gets the ball on the racetrack, gets around Baxter quickly. Markowski gets leaned on twice. Yeah, I don't understand what Wygen's going for there to turn up into Markowski, because it ruins both of their days. It puts Wygen in a position where he's going to wreck later on. Markowski gets wrecked here. He tries saving it so hard, but just can't. Bounces off of Jason Scott. Everyone trying to thread the gap here. And then Pacey Wygen, because of the calamity here, Patrick Overstack gets turned by Byron Jones, who just goes across the nose of Pacey Wygen. Nowhere for him to go. And they hit the wall hard. So does Ross Baxter and Byron Jones. Right into the safe barrier there on the pit lane wall. And everyone bites the dust in some way, shape, or form. Honestly, you saw the battle coming up to the checkered flag, with Hunter Peach grabbing a triumphant win throughout the chaos here in Miami. My goodness. My goodness. We have to talk to our drivers here in just a moment, our podium finishers, and grab their thoughts. Before we do that, we'll step aside and get everything ready for those interviews. So stay with us. We'll grab some thoughts right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Homestead-Miami Speedway, a chaotic race here. Unofficial results, unofficial going to be a very key word in how this all plays out here. Hunter Peach, your race winner. That seems like a safe option there, if you want to believe that is official. Davis Mule Jr., Eli Sasek, your podium finishes. We'll hear from all three of them tonight. Brady Smith, his career best finish here in HTL, 4th place. Josh Arnold in 5th. DJ Anderson, last minute sub in that 19 car, finishes top 10 ahead of Alfred Denny. James Wright, from a lap down to a lead lap in 8th. He finishes in the top 10 tonight. Richard Odie gets a top 10 as well. Pacey Wygen and Josh Susie, what a race for them. Their thoughts are going to be wild tonight. Byron Jones ends up finishing this race in 12th here in Miami. Tucker Sawyer, Ross Baxter, 13th to 14th. Ross Baxter, up and down day. Pole position. A lot of the race in the top 10, just not at the end of the race when it matters, unfortunately for him. Dale Markowski got used like a brake at the end of the race there. We saw the replay before that 30-second break just a couple minutes ago. He finished in 16th here, or 15th tonight, ahead of his teammate Patrick Oberstadt, who also ended up not seeing the finish in one piece. Jason Scott in 17th, Shad Swatsworth in 18th, ahead of Bobby Blowers. Retirements begin to pepper the list here from 19th on down. Olivia Pereira finished the race multiple laps down. Bryn Roberts, multiple laps down as well. Mark Kissenweather out. Zach Apperson out. Bailey Thompson out as well. Blake Henderson, Stephen Oberstadt, Christina Ryan, and Angel Santiago out as well. Santiago not starting this race will not score points either. You see our race winner parked in the start finish line here. Before we get there, we're going to talk to Eli Sasek, our third place finisher here tonight, who got to see a little bit of everything. Eli, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. A wild race, but a podium finish for the number 9 camp, and it seems like it was survival of the fittest tonight.
Yeah, probably not even a top 10 car gets a third place finish. No real uh, confidence really in the car. It was kind of good when the sun was out, and then once it came to night, I couldn't really figure out what to do. And then I mean everybody started wrecking each other, so works out for me. Got me a third place finish, and with minimal damage throughout everything. I kept it clean until I got tapped there at the end. So I'm happy with it. It was definitely an overperformance.
It seemed like that was a notable trend throughout the playoffs there. Obviously, you made the round of 16, but couldn't make it into the championship 8. It seems like there was a genuine struggle for performance there for the 9 camp, despite the fact that the team overall did well. Pacey Wygent was top, has been a consistent performer. Obviously, tonight was a good day for Ascent. Brady Smith gets his career best finish right behind you in 4th. Ascent's had the pace, but what has it been as far as the issues on the 9 camp in particular?
Uh, I feel like myself as I've had pace, just haven't been able to really finish or execute. One of the main things is that I feel like at Indianapolis and the other track, if I don't either kill the wall trying to make up positions to get into the playoffs or the round of 8, or waste up my stuff, I probably would have made the round of 8. And then here in this round of 8, these past two, at least at Chicagoland, felt like I had a ton of pace and probably could have had a chance to win Chicagoland. Here it's just didn't feel great on the car, and sometimes it misses. But sometimes it's just down to certain tracks. I feel like Homestead is usually a better track, but tonight just didn't have it in the setup somewhere. And clearly, a lot of Pacey and other people had that at least within Ascent. So I think part of it might have just been a driving style issue. We'll have to see, especially going into Auto Club, where there's not a lot to go off of in terms of official racing and some of the other stuff there.
That being said, Fontana does treat you a lot better statistically. What is the optimism going into Fontana? You grabbed a result out of nowhere here at Miami. You've been known to do that in Fontana as well. Is there a chance to do more of the same, or to try to potentially find a little bit of that pace that's been missing in the 9 car to end off the season?
Definitely. I mean, goal right now is just to get honestly win races, or do well. Kind of be a pillar of consistency that I have been throughout HTL. I like Auto Club a lot. I think it's going to depend on setup and what we can do there, and kind of how the track figures out. It's not one that we go to a lot in officials anymore, ever since they tore down the track in real life. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm pretty optimistic because I feel like it's usually one of my best tracks in usually any car that goes there. So
Going to be a lot of fun to see how this last race plays out on the number 9 camp here tonight. Very physical race. Eli Sasek grabs a podium here, P3 in Miami. Eli, before we let you go, does anyone shout and say thank you? To the floor is yours. Congrats on the effort. Fantastic job.
yeah, first off, everybody on Ascent. I don't. This might be my last interview this year, so I gotta make sure that everybody that raced for us this year, and everybody that helped contribute to the team. I felt like it was a pretty good year. We got 4 or 3 4 cars in the playoffs, 2 into the round of 8 again, which is fantastic. I think 4 was the most that we got into the playoffs by far, and Elias, who's been working really hard, finally got it this year. grandparents who always watch and support everybody in HTL. We don't always get along, but it's always a great time racing here. And the people like Blake and Alfred who put this on, everybody watching. I think that's it.
A fantastic job for Eli Sassick. He'll try to repeat the result in Fontana next Monday, but a fantastic podium here for Eli Sassick for Ascent Racing here in Miami. Congratulations. And we'll move on along to the second place finisher here tonight. Again, playing bridesmaid to a teammate, but in wild circumstances here tonight. The NFG Motorsport cars looked like rocket ships, 3 cars in the top 10. It's not who we expected to all be in that conversation, given how the first 2 stages went. Davis Mill Jr., walk us through how this race went for you and just the overall vibes given the chaos tonight.
Well, the team chat's popping, so that's always a good night. P2 ain't nothing to sniff at, especially when that last restart I told Peach, go like hell, and I'll make sure nobody can stay. Just, as always, Susie brought a rocket ship, and we knew we had a really good long run car, and had to start mid-pack and got caught up when Susie, I think it was Blake got loose in front of Susie, and he parked it, locked it down like he's supposed to, and I just, at the last second, just had nowhere to go, and I clipped him, and I apologize to him for that, because that's, I've been there, that I hate that. I tried everything I could to back it down to avoid him, but I think we had some damage, fixed that, drove up from mid-20s to get a stage point there, and then from there, it was just settle in, and I knew what the car could do. It was just taking advantage of the long runs, and this field is so tight and so good. You got to take every opportunity you can, and there were so many good battles throughout the pack, and unfortunately, Susie got caught up in some ridiculousness. I can't wait to go find out what the hell happened.
You're going to want to watch the replay. We watched the replay live on the broadcast. It's going to be interesting to follow up on that one.
I saw a little bit out of the corner of my eye because I was under it. I'm sure, feelings are hurt and tempers flared and what have you, but, there's also just hard racing, and I think sometimes it gets a little freaking ridiculous. But after that happened, I knew it was up to me and Peach to get a good result, and me and him have been here so many times where we're up front, and just we haven't been able to get the results that we wanted, and especially after that one yellow with like 30 to go, whatever it was, I said to Peach, there's 2 guys in front of us, 2 tires, just bide your time. They're going to fall off and strike. And of course, shout out to Patrick and Pacey. That was a hell of a battle between the 4 of us up there. And of course, the right 2 cars ended up in front of it. And then that last restart was just run like hell and pray to God nobody caught us. And luckily, it sounds like calamity opened up in our mirror too. So super proud of Peach. He has come so many races this season where he's a rocket ship up at the front, and one race or another he has bad luck, or just caution doesn't fall our way with track position, whatever it might be. And I'm super proud of him. DJ hasn't raced all freaking season, shows up tonight, gets the top 6, so super happy for him. Everybody at NFG, Susie especially, the crew chief, he's the boss for a reason, love him to death. He gave us the opportunity to be super fast as always, and I don't hate being a bridesmaid to a teammate, but damn, second does suck.
Well, the good news, we returned to the site of your first and currently your only HTL Cup Series win in 7 days' time. We go to Fontana next week. You know how good these cars have been since we moved to the open setup format here. Is there optimism that you can possibly go back to victory lane in California?
As always, but last year I needed a little bit of luck and the strategy to fall my way, and I'm sure it'll be no different next week. But I also have two teammates racing for a championship, so I don't want to stick my nose somewhere it doesn't belong and screw something up for one of them. So we'll see what next week brings. That track is, so aero dependent. You need track position to be up front to battle for it. So excited, happy to only have one race left to go so we can get to the off season and relax a little bit. And another good result in the hat. I can't complain.
A fantastic job for NFG Motorsports. 3 cars in the top 10, 4 cars in the top 12. The full team in a semblance here tonight. Davis Mo Jr., before we let you go, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on another phenomenal race.
Yep. First and foremost, Nitro setups, absolute rocket ships week in, week out. Susie and me sit there and they'll get dialed up and he'll shoot me something midweek and I know we're good. So shout out to the boss. He's the reason we're this damn good. And shout out to Peach. So proud of him and happy for DJ that we got another win. And I think we've still got the top 2 in the points going into the next week. So fingers crossed we'll bring home a championship. Alan Blake for running the show. My beautiful wife and my 2 boys who let me do this every week and annoy the crap out of them for a couple hours a night. You and everybody at ABN for the broadcast. Everybody who tuned in tonight, all the guys that showed up. This league is nothing without a great group of drivers, and tempers will flare and whatnot, but it's still a damn good group to race with. And when we have a night like tonight where it's relatively clean and green and, the strategies take over, it's a good time. So time to go relax.
A fantastic job for Davis Mills Jr., second place here. A phenomenal team result as well. Congratulations on it, David, and hopefully we get to talk to you again in Fontana.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carmen.
That was Davis Mills Jr., our second place finisher here tonight. I know that we've got Hunter Peach coming up here, letting him debrief with his team owner, DJ Anderson, who I see him talking together for a moment, so we will give them a second to finish up before we go ahead and grab him. But Hunter Peach, your race winner today, breaking a winless drought. An outstanding job for the number 20 crew. Hunter, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Do you got a copy?
I got you, Carmen. Let's go.
Long time coming. It felt like this day was feeling more and more distant, more and more out of reach here, but it's finally come through. A win this drought has broken after feeling like you were on the back foot the entire regular season, getting into the playoffs to begin with. Powered your way through the round of 16 to get into the championship 8, and now a legitimate chance at a championship going into California with this race win tonight. Walk us through it, because that was a wild race.
Honestly, I'm speechless for words. It's like you said, been too long. I don't even know the last time I won a race on iRacing, to be honest. I feel like it's been almost I feel like the Kyle Busch right now.
I can
don't even know.
I can enlighten you a little bit. Your last one in
I just
HTL was 2 seasons ago, season 5. It's been a couple seasons.
Oh, it should have been Atlanta. It should have been Atlanta. No, I just first off, before time race, I just want to thank Smeal and Sosi, also Sosi, for just an incredible setup, giving me it. Without him helping me, car would never been this fast. So hats off to him for giving me a car that just allows me to do things that I typically can't do on my own. So shout out to the team first, all the sponsors, everybody on the car, DNM Pilot Services. This one's for DJ especially. I told him mid-race, I was like, I'm going to go win this one for you. So I broke my ass off the whole time. But about the race, start off, obviously, with the P5 of qualifying. So, from practice, worked the hell out on the setup, got the good balance, and then got to get qualified out of it. So, obviously, a good track position, and then, stayed basically a top 5 car for most of the race, and then kind of made a little bit of adjustments when the sun went down, and then from there, I've lost it in probably 3 times tonight and saved it, and then still reeled down Pacey, and it's just as soon as I knew I reeled down Sosi from 5 seconds back, I knew I had a car, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna leave it, and then from there, it's just I just gotta get clean air, and then all the calamity happened, and we just find ourselves in the right spot, and was in good position, and then find ourselves like we do at Charlotte and all these other weeks, and then next thing you know, 5 to go, here comes a yellow, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? We're doing this again. But no, Smeal kept me calm, team kept me calm, and drove the race car and drove the race of my life.
It works out for you in a big way here. You grab the race win. The team has had this pace. Obviously, we talked about the near misses this 20 team has had throughout the season. You talk about Atlanta, a big sticking point for you this season, among others. Grabbing this race win so late in the season, putting yourself in that championship conversation with 1 race to go. How much does this mean for you, given the winless drought? You talk about not just in HTL, but across your iRacing career so far, a very long winless drought, over a year since your last win. What does this mean for you? And obviously, how does this change your approach going into California next week, knowing that you now have a solid chance to go for your first championship in HTL?
Well, I like to ultimately think we have a shot. I feel like I've had a shot the last 3 years. It's just find myself in bad situations. I know the one year me and Dean got into it, took my chances out. I don't feel like this is my best chance to win a title. I think the last 2 seasons were probably my best. But, we've been battling through adversity all season. So I feel like I rose into the occasion when the pressure's been high. And it hasn't been the best, but I felt like I've shown that I can win anywhere, and which is good. And obviously, like, it hurts me because the crown jewels have been the closest this season. Second at Indy, second at Darlington, second at Charlotte. So overall, I mean, the whole season's been a success. It's just hit and misses here and there, with just bad time of the yellows or just getting caught up in wrecks. And it's just none of the team's fault. I'm giving a good car. But ultimately, I think there's nothing that says we can't go win the title next week. Auto Club's one of my favorite tracks, and obviously got my first win there. So it'll be amazing if we can go in there and go back to back, and obviously cap it off with the win and get NFG their second title. Last time was Meredith doing it, so I don't think there's nothing that says we can't. We got a good team with Smeal and Sosi, and Sosi's still not out of it either. So I mean, and job's not finished for me. I still got to go do a race, but ultimately, I think we snuck in every single round, and I don't think I'm the favorite, but I like to think I have a good chance going to next week, though.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch. Surely we know how much of a menace you can be on the banks of Fontana, California here in 7 days' time. We get to find out once again as you battle for a championship in California. Before we let you go and let you thoroughly celebrate your first win in over a year, according to what I'm seeing, at least on Sim Racer Hub, it's been almost a year and a half for you since your last win. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to before you celebrate, the floor is yours. Congrats on your first race win in almost 18 months here in your iRacing career, especially here at HTL. Congratulations.
Hell, that's a long ass time. I just want to thank DJ for, allowing me to stay on the team. And obviously, the team's been shucking up that from the start of it. And I think this is obviously the best I feel like I've been on this team, with just help and support. And obviously myself just being down, not wanting to race half of the time. And, they pushed me to, like, just go drive your car. Just, you got this, you can win, you're close. Obviously all my supporters, my girlfriend, she obviously supports me. I want to win this race for her. I want to win Darlington. I came up short, so I felt disappointed. Feel like I let DJ down whenever I don't win, so obviously want to get his card. I want to obviously get both cars 1-2 in the finals, either if it's Sosi win the title or me. It's obviously the main goal. Shout out to, like I said, DNM Pilot Services on the car. Noah NJB Designs for painting it. Blake for allowing me to race, even through all the stuff I've been through. Just grateful for all the people that allow me to still do this and just actually take the time. And hopefully we can go out and win it next week, being 2 days before my birthday. That'll be a great birthday gift to win the title.
Well, we hope that's the case for you as well, Hunter. Congratulations on the win here in Miami. Go celebrate. And obviously, we'll hopefully talk to you again in even better circumstances in California in 7 days' time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A great job, Hunter Peach, breaking the winless drought 18 months in the making. He grabs a victory here in Fontana, and we got to burn it down here in spectacular style. One final look at the top 12. We talked about it a little bit ago before the interviews. We'll bring it up here. Here's what it looked like. Hunter Peach, David Smith Jr., Eli Sasek, your podium finishers. We talked to all three of them here tonight. Brady Smith finishes his career best fourth. Josh Arnold, top 5, to make up for the devastating loss at Chicagoland 2 weeks ago. Helps him out a little bit, out of arm's reach for the championship, but what can you get going into Fontana? It's going to be wide open in California in 7 days' time. DJ Anderson, last-minute super sub, was inactive, hence the number in red. From off from the shelf to 6th place, filling in the 19 car. Does a fantastic job. Alfred Denny in 7th place. His run of form continues. James Wright from a lap down to 8th. Richard Odie finishes top 10 as well. Pacey Wygant finishes in 10th, exactly ahead of Josh Susie and Byron Jones, who round out your top 12 here in Miami. We have a lot more coming up. Racing season's back underway. On your screen right now on the upper right-hand side. Next broadcast for esports is Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be right back here in Miami for the RXI Octane Truck Series. Again, that's 8 p.m. right here on Twitch on Saturday. Then we head over to California. We go from coast to coast for a back-to-back doubleheader. HTL Cup Series at Fontana, Sunday, 7:45 p.m. Eastern. And then the HTL Cup Series season finale also in Fontana, California, Monday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. All of that here on ABN on Twitch. We're glad you joined us here for a phenomenal night, a wild night with a lot of talking points going into California in 7 days' time. On behalf of everyone here for HTL, all of its partners, and everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm. We'll see you again this weekend from both Florida and California. Coast to coast weekend coming up. Stay safe, everybody.